Every week, our team on our website, we get two, three, 400 people that visit our website. I guess they Google it. And the article that they see a lot, probably one of our most read articles, we've had thousands and thousands of views on it, are people that we did an article. Actually, I did it a few years ago. I updated it today on the truth about the $1 million listing shows. I'm just like everyone else that I guess admit it. I watch these $1 million listing shows. There's a New York one, there's one in LA, there used to be one in Miami, there used to be one in San Francisco. And like for me, it's funny because everyone in my family, I have a brother and sister. My brother is a doctor, he lives in Washington State. My sister, her husband is a cardiologist. My wife is a doctor. She has her own practice. My father in law is a doctor. My brother in law, my wife's brother, is a doctor. His wife is a doctor. My dad is a doctor. So pretty much everyone in our family is either a doctor or married to a doctor. My niece is just about to finish medical school and she's going to be a doctor. So with that said, when I watch these shows, these doctor shows, like I guess medical shows is a better way, like whether it's Grey's Anatomies or another show that has something about the medical field, I typically ask, and I would ask my dad in the past a lot, like, what is true and what's not true? And it made me think, and sometimes things would be more accurate, I guess, as we got closer to today than in the past. And Grey's Anatomy does a decent job of it. They're not great, but they actually have specialists. And I've done some research. They have some specialists, and they actually consult with them. So people in the medical field actually consult with the directors and I guess editors and all those people. So with that said, a few years ago, it made me think about what I mentioned at the beginning. What do people think? Probably people that aren't in real estate, that don't sell luxury real estate. What do they think is true and what's not true? And so I wrote an article on that, and like I said, I updated it. So I'm going to go over some of the things. I'm going to share my screen with you, and hopefully you can see everything. Well, so what they don't tell you on the $1 million listing shows, and like I said, updated July 14th, which is today. And like most of you, if you watch it, you know who Josh Altman is, Josh Flagg, Ryan Serhant, Frederick Eklund, and so like I watch it. I liked it. I It's cool because it's the industry, and I love that they have these shows, just like these HGTV shows. Whenever they promote home ownership, whenever they promote real estate, makes me feel lucky because it puts a spotlight on the industry I'm in. So I'm going to tell you some of the things, and so before I get into it, I've been fortunate to work with celebrities, athletes. Everyone on the team has pretty much, and one of the things that I didn't know until I got into working with them is because usually you work with their team, you don't usually work with them, because I'm sure it would probably be difficult if you're wealthy and you're famous, probably every day, whether it's a family member, a friend, or a business or someone just trying to get your money. So it must be difficult. So you have to have like this blockage of people where you have your own people that will take care of you, your team, per se. And so the times that I've actually worked with the athletes or celebrities, just to give you an idea, you can't just do the same thing I can't just find properties if I'm representing a famous person and they are going to be buying a home. I can't just pull up the listings in Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com, Redfin. If I do that, it's not going to do anything for them. because they can do that themselves, and that's not difficult. Where I show them value, and I'll get into the $1 million listing show, but I just wanted to share this with you because I thought of it. When I'll give you an example. A few years back, I had a client. He wasn't famous. His family is famous in another country, but he was looking for a property on Fisher Island. So he was looking to spend 6 or 7 million, and I couldn't just show him stuff that was online. We ended up closing on a property for 5.8 million, and it was something that it wasn't listed for sale. It's called an off-market property. When an agent speaks with other agents, where they speak with their clients that potentially, if they live in that area, and they just try and find inventory that didn't exist. So that's one of the things. Another thing, real quickly, before I get into the $1 million listing thing, and the reason I'm talking about this prior to getting into that is because I think a lot of people that watch the show are probably either they're a real estate agent, or there's a good chance, I would say at least like 30% or more, are probably thinking about selling luxury real estate in the future. And that's why I'm talking about this. Another thing is with some famous people that are wealthy, when you text them, don't expect them to text you back always. In the beginning, I thought they would, but they get so many texts. They're so busy. I don't expect them to respond unless it's something good. I mean, it could be like I send them 10 or 11 texts, and they may respond to 2 or 3, and those may be off-market homes that I sent them. And I'm not going to send them a text just to see how they're doing. Typically, they already have a ton of texts and stuff, or calls or emails. So I want to make sure if I send them something, it's worthwhile. I don't want to waste their time. So anyways, let's get into this $1 million listing stuff. So on the show, what you see is a lot of times you just see these brokers open. It's like an agent, whether it's Frederick or Ryan or whoever it will be. They get this call from this multi-million-dollar person and multimillionaire, and they're selling their multi-million-dollar property. I'm having trouble speaking. I guess it is right now. It's 10:40 p.m. So I'm doing this video a little bit late, and I haven't eaten yet. But anyways, let me get into this. So you see these agents getting these calls for these multi-million-dollar homes, and what they do is they do these elaborate brokers opens, and then after the brokers opens, they sell the homes. And that's not how things work. It's not. We have to do these brokers opens. Typically, they're of more value. So like if someone has a property and it's $400,000 and you do a brokers open. So let me go back a step. For those of you that don't know what a broker's open is, I think you do because you watch the show, but a broker's open is like an open house for real estate agents. And they make them elaborate, they give lunch, and sometimes they have entertainment. And the reason they do this is they want the other agents to go there to experience the property and hopefully get a buyer. On a lot of these $1 million listing shows, when they do this, they have a buyer and they buy the property and all is done, and this real estate agent gets a 6-figure commission. Does not work that way at all. I mean, it happens sometimes, but it doesn't usually happen. You just get exposure for it. And what you normally do is, as an agent, if you don't have the listing, so like for me or Jade, Vico, Will, or even Haley, we would go to these open houses for these properties that are nicer. And the main reason you do it is because these types of properties you don't always get access to. So as we get more and more education on seeing these properties, of course, yeah, maybe we do have the right buyer for the property, but there's a chance that we may not. But our education is so much better when we actually go in this home, we experience it, we see how the rooms are, we see everything about it. And so that helps us in the future if we're comparing it to another property that's sold, so we can get a better gauge of the value of the property that's going to be sold or the one that we're going to list. Back to this property. If we have a property on the market and it's $400,000 and we do a broker's open, it's not going to be as effective because it's, for lack of a better way of saying it, a lot of them may be cookie cutter properties where people have easy access to seeing these homes. And since it's a broker's open, not an open house, I'm not telling you to not do open house on a $400,000 property. I'm saying a broker's open may not be as effective as far as getting as many real estate agents than one that has a more expensive property. So the first myth that's on the show, the first thing that you don't see that often are homes that are sold solely because of having a nice broker's open. So things that typically don't, I gotta improve this type. I'm glad I saw it. Things that typically don't happen on the show. Another thing is on the show, you see them negotiating all the time over the phone, and you see them talking to their client, and they're just saying like they're just going back and forth on the phone. It's not how it happens. You get an offer, you speak to the other agent, you speak to the seller, you go back and forth, you spend a lot of time doing it, you submit it in writing, and you go back and forth, and that's how you do it. I've maybe once or twice in my 17 years of doing this have I sorry to keep adjusting my back. I had back issues in January. But anyways, basically only, less than a handful of times have I, maybe two or three times I've called another agent and we've actually done the deal like they do on $1 million listing. Typically it's back and forth. You do some phone calls with the other agent, you do phone calls with your client, whether it's a buyer or seller, and then you do everything on paper and you get it signed and you have a deal. It's totally different than how they show it. And like I said, brokers opens don't usually get homes sold. Another thing is you don't have like calls every day of people, just all these millionaires, multimillionaires, just calling us every day and they want to sell a home. Even the agents that I know that do phenomenally well, that may sell more than some of these guys on the show, they're not getting a call a day from people that want to sell their very expensive home. That's not how it is. So I wanted to share with you things that actually do happen in luxury real estate. And so the first thing we have to do as agents is we have to have the mindset that we're lead generating. Lead generating means that we are every day thinking about how we can get another client. And the way we do it, one of the good things about real estate is that there are a million different ways to be successful in real estate. And what our team does, what makes us successful, and obviously we could always do better and we can always get more business, and we'd love to get more business. But what has made us do relatively well is that we do a lot of content, and we create content. We do content, meaning we do a lot of videos. We do a lot of blogs. We do a lot of podcasts. We do a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with real estate. People that I meet for the first time tell me about my wife and ask me about her, and they know that I met her on Match.com because they saw content we did. And I've never told them that I'm married. I just met them and they're like, "Hey, how's your wife doing?" And I'll be like, "Oh, she's doing well." And they'll be like, "Oh, I saw that you guys met on Match.com when you were 44 or whatever." And so like Will and Jade and the rest of the team, we all do content and we share our lives, because at the end of the day, if we just do real estate content, and we do some real estate content, as if you've seen my video or the team's videos, we do real estate content. But I think at the end of the day, you want to someone who's buying or selling wants to find a professional that knows about real estate, but also wants to deal with someone that they feel comfortable with. So we're always doing content. So, like, my goal is to do a YouTube video a day that someone actually wants to watch, to do blogs every day on like different areas, pretending I'm a consumer, pretending I'm like a buyer or a seller or someone that's moving to the area. I'm going to pick like the best restaurants in certain areas, the best desserts. I'm going to places to get dessert, things that maybe people don't know about that area, and just, all sorts of information. I'm also going to do real estate content like why homes don't sell, what you can do to get your offer accepted. I'm going to make it specific to specific areas, and then I'm going to generalize it too. So we're always creating content. Another thing that we do is we also, and I don't even know why I'm scrolling here because I'm not. If you read this, it's I guess it is where I'm at. I guess I got lucky. But anyways, another thing that we do is we're always creating relationships with other agents because the odds are there's no agent that I know, and probably there is no agent that if they're very successful with what they do for a living, selling real estate, there's a very, very small chance that their $1 million buyers and sellers are just coming to them. They know everyone. The majority of real estate agents are getting customers from other agents from around the country and around the world. And those are from relationships that we work hard on. We spend time. I speak to many agents every single week trying to help them with their businesses because in real estate we're all good at different things, and so I'm helping agents with marketing and other things, and that agent probably is smarter than me in a lot of other things. So we're sharing, we're trying to collaborate, having zero ego doing it, whether they're agents that work for Compass, our brokerage, or someone or another other competing broker. We don't care. We just want to create these relationships with people here in Miami and elsewhere, because at the end of the day, if we create a better friendship, things will be better for us, for our clients, and them and their clients as well. Collaboration is so much better doing that. And that's what I love about Compass. One of our things is collaborate without ego. And the prior company that I worked for, I'm not going to name them, there was zero collaboration, and I didn't like that at all. So, anyways, another thing that you may not know is, and I'm saying this for those people that may watch the show and they show the commission, or if you're thinking about getting into real estate, is when we get those clients from other agents, we have to give a big percentage of our commission. Sometimes it's 25%, sometimes it's 50%, 30, 40, whatever it is. So we're giving, for us to be fortunate enough to get a client that's looking for a luxury property from another agent who has a choice of sending that client to anyone, we definitely reward them for doing that, and we feel grateful for that. Another thing is, people don't just like start looking and they're ready to buy and they're done. The average person will take 6 months to a year and a half before they buy a property. They're going to start looking 6 months to a year and a half before they end up closing on their deal, or never close on a deal. So, there's so much information, and if I was a consumer, I would probably do the same thing. I do that with cars and stuff. When I'm going to buy a car, I look way beforehand. Another thing is, it is very expensive to market these homes. So, like, we're fortunate where we get people telling us about like the videos that we do. They love the videos or the 3D tours or just some of the marketing stuff that we did. We did a video that was it was a house that was it had a beautiful tennis court. It was a clay tennis court, and we ended up spending $20,000 to market that home. And honestly, we didn't sell it. So we didn't get anything from not selling that house. thank God, and it doesn't matter if we did or we didn't, but we were fortunate that because a lot of people saw this video that we created, this it was like a film, it won many, many awards, that we got a lot of business because they liked our creativity. And, it paid for that 20 grand lost, many, many times over. But that's what they do share about. That is true on the $1 Million Listing Show. They do tell you that they're spending a lot on marketing, and they do. And staging homes is super expensive. And, all these things that we sort of have to do to provide the best possible service is very expensive. Um, so, like I was saying too, the last thing I'm going to say is those relationships. The relationships are everything, because that's how we get our clients. That's how Josh Altman, Josh Flagg, Ryan Serhant, Frederick Eklund, all of them. That's how they all get their clients. It's having the relationships with the other agents. That's how you get the business, and that they do share that on the show, that they're always networking and stuff like that. So those are just a few of the things that are not true on $1 Million Listing, and those are some of the things that are actually true. And if you're interested, we have a camera crew that follows us around. We did this pre-COVID. We're going to do it again. They'd follow us up to 12 hours a week, and we'd create, content. We'd create our own show called All in Miami, and it was allinmiami.tv was the show. But this is an episode. It's called The Hustle, and I'm gonna put a link to it on the video, and a link to this article as well. And you could watch how a normal day is for us, doing real estate in Miami. And I have like a video of Miami, and just, because I spoke about my wife earlier, this is a video of my wife and me. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you so much for watching, for taking the time out of your day. Whether you watch the full video, if you did and you got to this point, thanks so much. If you don't, if you watch some of the videos, all of the videos, really, really appreciate it. We are so grateful that so many of you guys watch our videos, comment, like, share, subscribe to our channel, hit the notifications. You do all of that. We're so grateful for that. And we get so many calls and so many texts, emails, DMs. So thank you so much for that. And if you'd ever like to get in touch with us, our information is below on the description. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or something else, our information will be there. And hope to see you guys in the future. Take care, stay safe, and love you guys. All the best.